Welcome to Lesson 17a, Custom Validators in Web Forms. In Lesson 16a, I showed you how to use all of the standard validation controls. Sometimes you will find that none of the standard validation controls perform the exact type of validation that you need. In that case, that's when it's time to use the Custom Validator control. The Custom Validator control uses all the same properties as the standard validation controls, plus two very unique properties. These are the unique properties of the custom validator, the client validation function. This is the name of the client-side script used to perform validation on the client. This property is not required. The other unique property of the custom validator is the validate empty text property. This Boolean property is used to trigger validation when the value of input field specified by the control to validate property is empty. The default value is false. Another unique feature of the custom validator is that the control to validate property is not required. If the control to validate property is left blank, the custom validator is always triggered on postback. The custom validator has one unique event, server validate. This event is raised when the custom validation is performed on the server. This event is required. In this lesson, you use a custom validator to add customized validation logic that runs on both the server and the client. There are no lesson requirements, and the hint for this lesson is add client-side validation to your custom validator to enhance the validation process by checking the user's input on the client before it is sent to the server. To get started with this lesson, select New Project, ASP.NET Empty Web Application, and enter Lesson 17a for the name of the application. Finally, click the OK button. Right-click the name of the property and select Add New Item. To add a new web form named evennumber.aspx, and click the Add button. Update the title element to even number and add some content. What is your favorite even number? Now open the toolbox and drag over a text box, a horizontal rule, and a button. Update the name of the text box to text box number. Update the columns to 5 and the max length to 5. For the button, name the button Button Submit and change the text to Submit. Add a custom validator. Change the error message to please enter an even number. Change the control to validate to text box number. Change the validate empty text property to true. Double-click the custom validator to automatically create an event handler for you, and enter the code that's going to test to see whether or not it is indeed an even number. If it is not an even number, set args is valid to false. Test the page by putting an odd number in, see what happens. Oh, get the error message. Okay, close the browser. And now, to add client-side validation, you have to actually write the JavaScript that's going to perform the client-side validation. So enter the JavaScript to test to see whether or not it's an even number, and it returns false if it is not even. And then you have to update the custom validator by adding a client validation function property and setting it to the new JavaScript function that was just added, which is even number validate. Click the F5 button to run the application, put in an odd number, and once again, you get the error message.